energy field research, electrocrystals, all sorts of inventions. He's dabbled in Kirlian photography. And basically, I think you're going to be intrigued by some of what we're going to hear about tonight. We're pushing the frontiers of science here, but we're really looking forward to this. So please give a big hand to Harry Oldfield.
Thank you, everybody. I just want to thank Andy and all the organisers and also the high-tech guys in the front and behind the scenes there. Without them, I wouldn't be having a lecture tonight. They've rescued the hard disks and all the wonderful, magical things they do. I just want to say it is great being here with this evening in this wonderful, ancient and holy and mysterious town of Glastonbury. It's my first time. I think I am overdue at my age to visit here, but better late than never. And first thing I want to talk to you about is, first of all, to begin with a little apology to you all, sincerely. And it's this, because I'm going to try this evening to squeeze about 35 years of research into about, how long? An hour and a half. Thank you. I've only just found out how long I'll have. Okay. My students don't call me the nutty professor for nothing, and by the end of the presentation, you're all going to be in agreement, I'm sure. Okay. So we'll start a little bit at the beginning, just to give you some background on literature, just find out the laser's working here. My first work with another great, a wonderful researcher called Roger Coghill, The Dark Side of the Brain, and where we started to introduce Kirlian photography into this country for the first time, and my other invention, electrocrystal therapy. Kirlian photography was not my invention. It is not my invention. It came from the Ukraine, as it is now, and it was by Semyon and Valentin Kirlian. And I first got to know about them in a wonderful book called Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain by Ostrander and Schroeder. It was published by Abacus Books. I still believe it is available on the internet if you want to do any real background into how all this was sparked off. It's a book well worth reading. And that's above my own book here, by the way. Okay. Thank you. And another book that was a biography written of me and my work by Jane and Grant Solomon, Harry Oldfield's Invisible Universe. Out of print now, but still available on the internet, Amazons and all those other wonderful jungles where my book can be found. Okay. A few different articles in national newspapers and things over the years. That, just to show you, I have been around a long time. And to prove it to you, I can tell you this story. 2006, I was in America, and they were giving me some kind of very nice, prestigious award, by the way, there. And I got after my presentation, I had a young lady running after me down the corridor saying, Dr. Oldfield, can you hang up a minute? I just want to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. And I did. And she said, my mother wants to know, are you the Harry Oldfield or his son? And of course, I was feeling very flattered, you know, this young lady, teenager, you know. And I said, well, actually, you know, I am the Harry Oldfield, and my son is named Anthony, and he's sort of like 20-odd years old. And then she stopped me, and my bubble burst, and she said, it's just that my mother said, by now, you are so old, you're probably dead. And it's the son I was going to see. So I just wanted to prove to her, to my mother, that you're still alive. So, absolutely true. And some of my early research actually began before that date, but 1972, the Kirlian photography. Semyon and Valentin produced a beautiful method of making electrical pictures using corona discharge around living things and non-living things. And the wonderful thing about living things, ladies and gentlemen, is they gave off a wonderful, vibrant energy field. The inanimate object did not, unless it was like a coin or a cross that had been influenced with healing energy. And this was an artist, I call this the, for those old enough to remember the ad, the Ready Brek man. Okay, the wonderful golden glow. The artist's impression is very good, but I have to tell you, in reality, and this evening you'll be seeing the reality of it, the artist's impression is a shadow of what the living energy field around a human being and all other living things are in reality. This was one of the first Kirlian pictures in colour I took of my thumb. No members of the local constabulary here, I hope. Good, good. I'm still incognito. Right, okay. And this is actually the corona discharge and the energy. There's no lens or focal plane in a Kirlian camera. There's a moisture screen above the film, and there's an electronic plate, and an electromagnetic field is passed around it. I'll be showing you the setup for those of you I know in Glastonbury who dabble. I'll show you how to do it. And it's in my books, of course. Thank you. And here's the apparatus. We have here, ladies and gentlemen, inside there, a modified Tesla coil, which is a pulsed high-frequency coil. Here we have a DC power source so that there is no fluctuations from mains frequency or interference coming down the wiring. And here in these early days, my design of a function generator that had pulse ranges of very below and beyond human frequency ranges of ears, but these were electromagnetic field pulses with different waveforms. And we sent this pulsed high frequency, high voltage into something like a leaf, which was earthed, and this is the plate, this is reflective dielectric covering, and that reflected all the light back to the film, which was underneath the object to be photographed. Of course, when people put their fingers and hands on it, they didn't need to be earthed, unless they liked wires attached to them, of course, and then we obliged, of course. That goes down rather well in America, where certain electrocution methods are still used for capital punishment. But it's wasted here. I'll remember that, not to do it again. And here, right, I know in Glastonbury you're interested in the paranormal and ghosts and phantoms. Because when I was an ordinary reductionist thinking young man in my early days of learning about science, we didn't entertain such things. But over the years, my mind has changed. And it began with looking at a leaf. Okay, can you see this leaf here? It's a Canadian maple leaf, but it's not all there. If you look very carefully, ladies and gentlemen, from here to there is no physical leaf. It's a phantom energy picture. Okay? And Roger and I came up with a term long before string theory in physics for a subatomic energetic matrix on which these physical molecules for everything around people, the universe, trees, stones, you name it, on which these physical molecules are strung. Okay? And it's this organizing field. Okay, morphinogenic field resonance as well has been brought forward by people, various researchers and other things, of course, which I give due credit to. Thank you. Now, I wasn't satisfied with that partial phantom. What would happen if you took the whole leaf away? Well, I tried that and there was nothing left. So I left a central stem of vital force, okay, and ripped off all the leaves, which were there. That's the control, by the way, on the left, what it was like before I ripped off all the leaves. The leaves, the secret for a good phantom, 100%, is they have to be burned, okay? Just like in India, you know, the physical remnants of this space-time are burned, and therefore the energetic process is released and carries on instantly. The other thing to mention is the plant has to be, for this 100%, organically grown. If it's seeing chemical fertilization, any time in its growing life period, you will only get partial phantoms. As we discovered in the 1970s, before organic farming was popular.